Hi ladies and gentlemen, this is Ian Adams and I'm coming to you to review the iRobot Roomba 890 robot vacuum with Wi-Fi connectivity. This vacuum is great for people with disabilities because it allows them to be able to have a cleaner house, a more hygienic environment, and less things to get tangled up on when they're moving throughout their space. The nice thing about this little vacuum is, one, its size. It's pretty small. I'd say it's about the size of a dinner plate or a large dinner plate. And it has these three brushes here on the bottom. They're rather long, but they are able to pick up a lot of dirt and things along the corners and crevices of the house. This one in particular is good for low carpets and hardwood floors. The nice thing about that is that it has a very strong vacuum motor and these little rolling brush teeth that allow it to pick up hair and small items with ease. It has about an hour of charge time, so it can do maybe about 800 to 900 square feet in about 60 minutes. And it also has a good size capacity. The one that I've been reviewing here has a rather large tank for dirt. It's easy to clean out. It charges in about 2 to 3 hours, however, so if you need to vacuum often, it can be you have to wait a little bit in order for it to work. Now, it does come in some standard colors. It has black, one has brown. The one I'm reviewing is black. For me, it does the job. It gets into all the different little crevices and corners. I chose this one to review because of its Wi-Fi connectivity. It connects to your home or business's Wi-Fi, and it allows you to connect to the iRobot app on your phone. So this app allows you to schedule the Roomba 890 itself while it's at your house. Because it is Wi-Fi enabled and connected, you can do this from virtually anywhere around the globe. So if you feel like your house might need a vacuuming and you're in Dubai and your house is in Los Angeles, then you can go ahead and click on that button, schedule it for 10:30 in the morning when nobody's there, and go ahead and make sure that you vacuum your house. The other thing that's also nice about this one is that it's rather quiet. Now, when I first saw this thing, I thought it was going to be loud, but it's really not that bad. The one issue that I have seen is that on the rug, one of the rugs that I have, it does have some long fringe on the end, kind of like a tasseled end. It does get a little bit hung up on that. Now, if I go ahead and I make a virtual wall, I go ahead and program into the directions of where the house is. I put a wall in that location. It makes it go around that, so I can either vacuum it or sweep it manually myself. I really enjoy having this vacuum around. It makes things a lot easier, and I think for people who have issues with bending and stooping and being on their feet for long periods of time, or are just either in a wheelchair and are not able to push around a standard vacuum, that's something like this, the iRobot Roomba 890 robot vacuum with Wi-Fi connectivity would really be a great addition to anybody's house. The other great thing about this one is that it's also connective with the Google Assistant as well as Alexa. So you can use voice control from anywhere in your house to go ahead and pick a time to vacuum your house. As far as purchase price goes for this device, the iRobot Roomba 890 robot vacuum, I have found it on Amazon for $499 with 2-day Prime shipping and 2-year protection for $35.99. So that comes out to about $535 before taxes. $35 before taxes. Another reason why I chose this iRobot vacuum is that it was a mid-grade item. There are other options in the Roomba suite of products. This is the 890. The ones above this are the 960 and the 980. The 960 has a recharge and resume feature that will allow you to pause the vacuuming and then put it into a recharge mode. It also has a visual navigation on the app, the phone app, so that you can see where it's at on its path. It also has a clean map report, so that's going back to show exactly what areas were cleaned based on the house and that location. The Roomba 980 has 10 times power. The Roomba 890, the one that I'm reviewing, has 5 times power, and the other one, that 980, has deeper cleaning power on carpets. I think that this has to do with either a stronger motor for the vacuum or just an updated thing that they got going on there. It also has recharge and resume, and it also has advanced cleaning and settings over the 960 and the 890. Now the 980 model is quite a bit more expensive. That's in the $800 to $900 range, and I think that that's quite a bit for someone on a limited income with a disability to spend on a vacuum cleaner. If they did have the means to purchase something like that, then yes, I would recommend it. However, for general cleaning and hygiene purposes, I think that the Roomba 890 is plenty of cleaning power as far as that goes. The other thing I like about this vacuum is that you really get a good clean with it. I know that I've used vacuums in the past, handheld vacuums, and other lesser models of the robot vacuums that didn't do as good of a job as the Roomba 890 that I have today. This one really gets into the crevices. Those little brushes I was talking about earlier, they extend for a good maybe 2.5, 3 inches away from the vacuum itself, directing the dirt into suction area. I have seen videos online where they do show cats and other things riding the Roomba around and getting a kind of a ride. One of the other ideas that I like about having the Roomba is that they also make covers for them. So it looks like you can have a Super Mario Brothers shell, the green Koopa shell rolling around your house, and make sure you don't get hit by it, because you might lose a life or something if you like video games. Now, the other thing I really enjoy about this vacuum is that it goes back to the dock on its own. Once you set the scheduling time for this vacuum, it goes out, does its thing, and then goes back to the dock to recharge. The other thing I think that might be a little bit difficult for somebody with a cognitive disability as well as a mobility disability, it can be a little bit difficult to set up, especially if you have a carpet or an area that the sensor might get messed up on. Sometimes various rug patterns can throw the Roomba off and make it think that it's in a cliff type scenario where it not able to pick up where the ground is. I think maybe either a white carpet, an alternating pattern carpet such as a white carpet with a black border, it may get stuck inside that carpet. I've read reviews on Amazon where that did happen, where it got kind of messed up in that little situation. However, I don't personally have one of those carpets, so I can't really attest to that issue there. It does have cliff detection, which I find interesting. That means if you have a 2-story house, or you're in a location that has stairs or a step or something like that, it won't go driving off the cliff like Thelma and Louise and flip over and expel all of its contents of dirt and debris all throughout your little area. So it does detect those kind of little steps. In the place that I'm at right now, there is a Dick Van Dyke step, meaning that there is a step from the entryway down into the living room area, and the Roomba does fine with that. It doesn't have any kind of problem with going over the falls and running into error or having any problems with that. The only issue I have with that part is that I have to physically move the Roomba into that other room so that it can go ahead and clean the living room as well. Now, generally what I do is once a day I'll have it clean the dining room area, which is where the cats tend to hang out the most. And then on the other one, I will use on another day, I will put the Roomba in another room where it will go ahead and clean the area where the living room is, under the couch, and with lots of little crumbs from people eating and having just various activities and doing things like that. The cats in this area in this house do shed quite a bit, and the Roomba's keeping up with it. At first, I was skeptical to see if the cats would actually, or the cat hair would actually be picked up by the Roomba, and to see how well it actually performed. That was one of the questions that I had prior to completing this review and purchasing the vacuum itself. I think that with proper maintenance and vacuum care, this vacuum will last quite a long time. I don't see too many moving parts when I take apart some of the areas to clean the vacuum, and I think that that'll make things nice and easy. For a person with disabilities, I think that this cleaning the vacuum itself may pose a problem. The vacuum's not light. It's when it's full, it can weigh maybe 7 to 10 pounds. And somebody with limited arm strength or limited mobility might have an issue with picking up an item such as that. And being able to have the dexterity to twist, to pull, twist, and dump the container into a trash can or other trash receptacle may pose a problem for somebody with that kind of limitation. Another thing that I was thinking about while watching the Roomba go around and around and around doing its thing is, I don't know, it doesn't do too well with liquid or spills. It doesn't do too well with that.